Don't interrupt and talk over them. Yeah, but I want, like, you cut people off, because that definitely demonstrates that you're not really interested in what they've got to say. Don't try and mind read thoughts or intentions without checking them out. Assume your ideas about what's going on is right. So don't, because we can tend to take quite polarised positions. I'm right, you're wrong, and that doesn't really give you any room to manoeuvre. So always, think open-mindedly about, I'm open to being, to different ideas on this one. Check the facts. Be sensitive to the other person. Listen and be patient with people. So Lucy might text a friend, this is an example, to ask a question. Several hours go by without a response. Lucy can see that the text was read immediately, but the friend didn't respond. So, be open to questions about why might they not have responded. Don't kind of go in straight away with an attack. You're ignoring me. Why don't you like me? Why don't you want to speak to me? Because those are all assumptions. We've got no idea what Lucy's doing. She might have seen it, but she might be in an appointment, or she might be in the hospital with her child because her child's poorly, and she might be waiting on a call for someone, so she checked her phone but actually hasn't got the headspace to reply to you right now. So really think about how you respond, because it can have a kind of knock-on chain effect. People will feel better about you if you seem interested in them and you give them space to respond. So when you ask a question, wait for their answer. Don't ask a question if you don't want to know their answer. So there are times when you might not be interested, but it is important to act interested, because that is what people value within relationships. Choosing to listen means deliberately choosing to be effective in achieving your goal of helping them to have a positive impression of you. Because what you want is to maintain relationships. It can be quite easy to make relationships or build friendships, but maintaining them is a different kettle of fish here. So this is what we want to do. We want to nurture and keep relationships that are important to us. Some people have a busy mind and are desperate to get back onto talking about themselves, and so if you're like that, it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it's just how you are. But try and block that urge to interrupt. We call it surfing the urge. Kind of just ride it out. So you might think that might be like, oh, that's me. And it is me sometimes, crikey. But it's it's just being mindful of it. So ways of acting interested is in person. You can nod, you can maintain eye contact, listen intently. You can make the right noises at the right times. If someone's really listening to what you're saying, they'll give you like a yeah, yeah, in the right moment, which is really important, especially if if you're just speaking to someone over the phone at the minute. We're all in lockdown, but if you're just communicating via means where you can't show someone that you're interested, you might have to rely on the kind of the noises a bit more. Ways of appearing disinterested, so looking at your phone, watching the door, looking at your watch even. Huge sighs. Oh, that definitely communicates to someone that you're not interested in what they're saying. Not responding when they've asked you a question, because you're not even listening. So they've asked you something and you're like, well, sorry, what? Because you weren't even there. You were planning your big Aldi shop in your head. So that'll catch you out, and it'll show that you're not really interested. The V for the give skill is about validating. So communicating that the other person's feelings, thoughts, actions, that they're understandable to you, given that their situation. So you're validating the why, even if you disagree with the what. So you're validating why they're doing that. An example is, I know that you feel that you have to yell at me, because if you don't, you'll keep things inside of yourself and never get what you want. At the same time, I really don't like it, and I really want you to stop yelling at me, and just try telling me what it is that you want. So you're validating their feelings and their emotions, and you understand why they're responding in that way, but you're saying that you don't like it at the same time. It's a really eloquent, I've never used that eloquent kind of thing in a discussion. So you're validating with words, you're saying with words, what the other person's feelings might be, what their difficulties might be. You're naming these things for them, you're helping them to acknowledge their emotions and their opinions, but you're not judging them. And you can do that, with your tone of voice, your facial expression and your posture. You're not having a go at them, you're saying, I really understand where you're coming from on this one. But at the same time, I'd really like it if X, Y, and Z. So reading those non-verbal signs, thinking about their body language, their posture, because sometimes you can go to someone and you can see that they're busy because they're dashing about. So saying that, look, I know you're really busy right now, that validates the current situation that they're in. They're like, oh, this person is actually can see what I'm doing and cares about me and is acknowledging that. I can see this is important to you. I know this will take you out of your way a bit, So you're acknowledging that they might have stuff going on as well. I know when I'm ringing people, I always say, are you all right to talk for a minute? Because people pick up their phone, but I have no idea what is going on behind that, what I've kind of caught you in, what situation you're in at home or wherever you're out. So it's important to check that out. So, example, you're demanding a person returns a book that you loan them. They remind you that they returned it some weeks ago. Admit, I forgot. Let go of your defence and just admit your mistake. Oh gosh, yeah, you're so right. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. And because I think it can be quite hard to admit that you're actually you're wrong, or you've made a mistake. But actually just saying that, oh gosh, yeah, we're all kind of, is it the word fallible? We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. It doesn't exist. So don't pretend to be perfect, and people will appreciate that. So with validation, actions do speak louder than words. So you can say, I promise to help someone move, and then not actually move a muscle. Saying that you'll be there and then not. Asking for help but not taking it. Advising others to get help and then knocking them down for doing it and having a go at them. So you have to think about, does what I'm saying match with what I'm doing? And if those two don't, then you're not gonna help to validate what's going on in a situation for somebody. So it's effective for improving relationships anytime. Conflict doesn't need to arise all the time. You don't have to make a request to someone. You do not have to say no to helping others. Think about the interactions that you have. They don't have to be fractious all the time. The last letter of the give skill is easy manner. So have a think, am I chilled out? Am I light-hearted? Am I smiling? To be using an easy manner, it can be using humour, soothe, ease the person along. Am I giving this the soft sell, or am I going in too hard? Because you might have heard somebody say something like, living with you or being around you is like treading on eggshells, like walking near a landmine. It's the air is thick with tension. Oh, you don't know what's going to happen next. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, someone might say to you. Or little problems might go on for days and days and days. That isn't an easy manner. That's like, just looking at that, I think, oh, that's hard work. And we don't want that. We don't want to it to feel as if it's hard work for people to be around us. So that's our responsibility, to kind of manage that. So using an easy manner helps other people live or be with you, so the conversations feel safe. They don't feel like, oh, a storm's brewing, or trouble at mill. They don't feel like that all the time. They can tell you things without a rocket going off, because actually if you do live back with an easy manner, people will be more honest with you and they will be more genuine with you, because they don't feel like it's unsafe to tell you stuff, so they'll tell you more. So if they can be sure that you won't go off and do something life-threatening, they can feel relaxed and safe around you, safe about you, about themselves. So, because sometimes people find that they get quite frustrated because this might be secrets in the relationship, and someone's not told someone something, and someone's not been genuine. But if it's not safe to do that, well, why would they do that? If being honest with you is like, putting your hand in a fire, why would you keep putting your hand in a fire? So it does make people be a bit more honest with you. It gives them that opportunity. So you kind of, you drop the secrets and the lies, because you've made it that safe environment. So it's about getting people to like giving you what you want and helping you. People don't want to feel bullied or guilty or pushed into doing things, because they might do it in that moment, but they tell you what, they won't want to do it again. And they'll avoid you. So we want people to want to help you, because getting what you want in the right way, it can keep your relationships, and also, this is a big one, it's about keeping that self-respect. So if people get good feedback because they've done something, that they've met your need, and you've been really grateful, you've been really appreciative, and they're going to want to do it again. Whereas if you've forced someone to do something, yeah, they probably won't want to do it again. So give it a go. Do you get it? I know it's a terrible joke, but I'm, got a lot of time on my hands. So give it a go, because although we're not necessarily coming into contact with as many people as we were before lockdown, we still have interactions with people, whether it's the GP receptionist, the GP, the post person, the person in the supermarket. We're still, or the people you live with, we're still interacting with people all the time. So do practice some of these skills, and look after yourselves. Bye.